All right, D01 is simple geomap charts of life expectancy at birth for the world and the United States. So you have two starter files. There are some directions here, but I can be your directions today. And we're using these two resources that are cited on the spreadsheet that's provided to you. So you're going to start with the spreadsheet over here. It's taking a while to render. There we go. And it'll say United States on one tab and world on another. Okay. And the lag here is pretty amazing, but these are the countries on the world one and the states on the United States one are listed in alphabetical order. So we'll have to fix that and make sure it's in the order of the data, or the numbers and not the states or countries. And so in order to rearrange this, and you notice as you scroll, you lose your header row, this guy and this guy. I like always going to view and choose freeze and freeze the first row. That way when you scroll, that information stays put. We want to highlight the data, and one way to do that in this case is just to click on the A and drag across to the B. You could also start at A1 in the middle and go all the way down to B52, and there's other ways to do it, and I'll talk about it as well. So while it's highlighted, you have to highlight it first. You go to Data, Sort Range, and they've hidden this. It's Advanced Range Sorting Options. So I'm sorry that they kind of hide that from you, but this is where we need to go to sort the data, because I want to sort it by longevity, not by state. So I go there, and first thing I check is I have a header row. When you do that, that allows you to sort by those two row headers. We want to sort by life expectancy at birth. And we want not the lowest number to the highest number, but the highest number to the lowest number. So that's C to A. It's called descending. Hit sort. You should now see that Hawaii has the highest life expectancy at birth at 82 years. And if you scroll down to the bottom, Mississippi has the shortest expectation for life. This is just on average. And here I'm going to write down for myself 74.9 is Mississippi. And at the very top is Hawaii at 82. All right, so what we want to do is make a chart of this. So again, highlights A and B. And to insert a chart, it's under the Insert menu and choose Chart. There's other ways to get to it. And what will pop up is a histogram. We really want a geomap chart. And so you got to go over here to Chart Type and change that to Map. You got to scroll down a bit. You'll see a world map, the word map, and then a world map right there. Click on that. And sure enough, it does default to a world map. And we're trying to just do the United States right here. So what you got to do is tell it to don't do the world. In fact, Georgia is actually right there, because Georgia is actually a country out in the world. So anyway, you go over here to Customize in the chart editor, the Customize tab, and then go to the Geo section, expand that. You want to click on World and Region, and that's where you can change it to the United States. Now it defaults to these Christmassy colors. What I'd do is maybe make this dark for the ones that don't live as long and light for those that live longer. So there's three settings here. I'm going to say for the largest numbers, I'm going to make a very light blue. For the middle numbers, I'm going to make it a little darker blue. And then for the minimum numbers, the ones that really don't live as long, would be dark blue. Okay? You can use whatever coloring scheme you'd like to do. You can move this around, but what is helpful is to move it to its own sheet. So what you do to do that is you go to the three dots and a menu pops up. You want to choose Move to Own Sheet. Okay. Here I would rename it. You could double click and say this is US map. And we want to copy this map. We're going to put it onto a slideshow. So I provided you a slideshow, and this will be our title page. I'll tackle that in a moment. Right now, let's just bring that map in. So I'm going to add a new slide. And on this new slide, I'm going to take this text box and make it a lot smaller. And I'm going to move it down here. I'm probably going to use this for the source code, or excuse me, the resource where I got this, the URL. This is going to be United States longevity by state. United States longevity at birth by state, by states. And sitting in my clipboard is that copy that I made. I clicked on the copy button for the chart. So I hit that, and then just come over here and click anywhere in here and just do Control V or Command V. You do want to link it to the spreadsheet. That way, if your data changes, it changes here too. And try to make it a little bit bigger. See if we can use all of the slide available to us. It's okay to go off the stage as long as your information doesn't. That looks pretty good. And I need the source for this information. That's back on the data. And it's this guy right here. Now, this is all in D5, even though it looks like it spills into E and F and G and H. All the data is really in here in D5. So if I click in D5 and tell that it is there, I could just highlight this information in this bar, copy it, Command C, and now I can put that on my slide. And I put it down here. Let me try that again. Paste that in. My mouse that I'm using wants to move to the next slide. You can make that a little bigger if you desire. It doesn't need to be that small. And to make it a link, you can highlight it in the text box, the URL part, and do Command K. And that's a shortcut to a link. Okay. So you want this slide just to be exactly the way you want. You can hit slideshow and see how that's going. Pretty good. So now I want to make a duplicate of this slide and show which is the worst and the best and where Colorado ranks. Okay. I have not done the title page yet. This will be taken from right here. Longevity, life expectancy. I can paste that in. Put your name on the title page. Make it look great. I won't bother with that in this tutorial. So now looking back at the data, I already know that Mississippi's the worst, or has the shortest life expectancy rate at 74.9. So I'll start with that depressing piece of news in my slideshow. So I go to the slideshow and get to here. And what you want to do is, once this is the way it is, we're going to duplicate it. So you come over here to the left and make sure it's the active slide. And under Edit is Duplicate. You can see the keyboard equivalent is Command D. And if you don't really pay attention, you don't notice that it happened. It made an exact copy of the previous slide. And now I'm going to take a text box right here in Shapes and use callouts. I'm going to grab the first callout here. And what's nice about this is you can take the gold diamond and point to exactly what you're talking about. So I'm going to type in here, double click, and type in Mississippi has the shortest, or has the lowest number. And that was 74.9. You can bold it. You can make this look insanely great. That's totally up to you how you want to make this look. So Mississippi has the lowest rate of 74.9. Now you duplicate this slide. So it's Edit, Delete, or excuse me, Edit, Duplicate. And now I can use this slide to tell about the highest one, and that's Hawaii. So I can double click just on Mississippi here, or highlight it, replace it with Hawaii, change this to highest. at 82. And Hawaii is this guy right here. All right. So what happens is we were doing a presentation. You go, here's the concentrations of longevity at birth by state, sorry. And there's the source at the bottom, and there's all the states. And you can clearly see there's an issue with the Southeast, or portions of it. And it looks like I'm off the slide a bit. It looks like I messed up royally here. Yep, I sure did. I went right off the slide. So I'm going to take a moment. I messed up, and it's not the end of the world, but I got to fix this slide before I go any further. So obviously, I was too far in, or over to the side. I went off my canvas. So now there's the edge of my canvas right here. So my box fits in there. So I've got to fix that before I go any further. So now I have a slide that looks like that. And if I hit enter, that shows up and it's on the screen. So watch out if you make a mistake like I just did. So now I can do this again, Command D, change this one to Hawaii. Sorry about that. So a difference of 7 years on average. And Hawaii is right over here. Oops, I didn't want to move the box. Command Z. Just assume the box stay put. So now, there's my map. Here's where Mississippi has the lowest rate. Here's where Hawaii has the highest rate. The last thing I'd like you to do is show me where Colorado falls in this ranking. And if you go back and look at your spreadsheet, Colorado's towards the top in longevity. And we're showing up on line 8. So that makes us the 7th state because you can't count the first row. So we're at 7th ranked at 80.5. So just go back to your slideshow, go to the final slide that you have, duplicate that, Command D, that makes a copy, you're now on it. And now I can say Colorado has the 7th highest rate. At 80.5. And point this to Colorado. So now you have this progressive slideshow that, and you could animate this all on one slide, but it works a lot easier this way, I believe. So you have that, you talk about it, you go, hey, well, you know, the worst is Mississippi, 74.9. The best is Hawaii at 82, and then Colorado's way towards the top at 7th highest rate at 80.5. And that's how you would impart this information visually. Some people like to add another thing. Like obviously there's a regional issue here in parts of the Southwest, and so you could identify that for them. And so I would do a duplicate of this and maybe get rid of this guy altogether and use a different call out. I tend to draw it off the side, or otherwise it wants to grab the map. So I do something maybe like that. I can make it semi-transparent by going to the fill and custom and setting the opacity a little lower. Maybe do a blue here. Something like that. Oh, shoot, I don't want to move anything. There we go. Careful of that. I don't want your map moving. And now I'll just grab another text box and say clearly portions of the Southeast have an issue. So in the southeast part of the nation, there's definitely an issue with people not living as long. And I'm not sure the reasons for that, but certainly it would be something worthy of further research. Again, don't forget the title page that goes on here. And now you're going to repeat this process for the world map. What's the life expectancy of worlds? And so you go to go to the world map, and we need to freeze the pane. It's always a good idea to do that because this is a lot longer. I think it's like 212 entries. It's again in alphabetical order, so select both A and B. Let's do data sort range on that. Advanced range sorting options. It has a header row. We want to sort by life expectancy Z to A. And these are smaller. These are cities in China. Let's just go with Japan being one of the best at 84 years. And the worst, I believe, is in Central Africa and countries like Nigeria and Chad at 53. So I'm going to write down on a piece of paper here, Chad, 53. And Japan being 83, which isn't the highest, but I can say one of the highest is Japan at 83. That's 84. That's an incredible difference of 30 years between those countries. So let's sort it. Oh, I already did. Good deal. Let's highlight it, make a chart. Data, insert chart. And it's the same kind of chart that we did before, a geomap. This time we're doing world data, so it'll be exactly what we want here. Okay. Definitely dress up the colors again. And you can see in this case the concentration of shorter lives is in Central Africa. So we can move it to its own sheet. Give it a meaningful name. And copy it. Come on over here. Oops, sorry. Come on over here. We need a new slide, so you just click on the plus sign. Should add it towards the end. This is world longevity at birth by country, or by countries. The source file will go, or excuse me, the URL will go down at the bottom. And then it's Control V or Command V for this to pop in. Okay. Again, take time to get the first slide the way you want it. And get that source file. I believe it's hiding in D4. Command C. Command K to make that a link. Oh, come on now. There we go. Make it a little bigger. All right, so now this slide here, and I don't know, I'm thinking, maybe I should change the color, but it's okay. Now, best, worst, or one of the best, one of the worst, and we're called United States falls. So you duplicate this slide. And so now we have two of these, and bring in a text box or a call out. And Japan has one of the highest longevity rates. It's an island nation right there. Japan has a longevity of 84. Oops, sorry. My mouse is so sensitive. So get this box the way we want it. And now move back to Japan here, right there. Cool. Make it some color if you want to. And then, you can remove this one or you could add to it. You could do something like this. Duplicate the slide and leave that on here and just copy paste it and show the contrast of Chad has a longevity of only 53, which is just so crazy to see the difference between the two countries. So what that does when you do a slideshow, it builds upon it. So you go, oh, okay, Japan has a longevity of 84, Chad has a longevity of 53, and then you could add that United States is this. It's however you want to do that. It's both ways are acceptable. So now just to check out where the United States is, it's kind of, you have to search through here. You can just click on the letter A and do Command F or Control F on a Chromebook. That'll give you a find, type in states, and you can see the United States is on row 68, which would make it the 67th in longevity. And so you can say that. I'm going to duplicate this last slide and add that United States was what, 67 or something like that? There we go. Maybe add a different color to that. My mouse is going to be the end of me. And I don't remember the number, of course. United States 76. We're 67th. Okay. You can do this, Mr. Durkin. America has a longevity of 76. Which is 67th highest. And there you are. Just add a title page to that. You'd be fine. If you want to go an extra mile, maybe blow all this out and show us that the region that we're of really great concern would be Central and South Africa. Thank you.